There is this weird possibility that it's a kind of end of visual culture, but anyone who's ever said that before has been proven so
yeah, let's not say
viciously wrong, right? It's
yeah,
like,
not us. We think the opposite. The sort of the question I've been grappling with is, does something have to be hard for it to be good?
It's not something I'm proud of exactly, but I felt like a lot of what's motivated a lot of my projects has been about going for things that are hard to do.
For example?
The hand tracking project, the one where you get an extra finger. It took me like a dozen years.
So would it be easier to do now?
Yeah, probably if you like made a prompt where you're like, you know, just show me my hand with an extra finger. Like
yeah,
it could
just
probably
done. You could just
kind of does it too easily in a way.
Well, this is exactly.
Yeah. And you gave me a huge gift, which was something that I
was going to ask you if you remember this.
Yeah. So I had done the robot project. It was a gigantic worm-like robot on the roof of the Pittsburgh Center for the Arts, and there was a summer camp for small kids. And at the end of the summer, one of the kids gave me a drawing of the robot that they'd made. And in this drawing, they had drawn it like this gigantic robot with like pink lasers coming out of its eye, like looking at people. And they just gave me this drawing, and then I lost the drawing. And I didn't really think of it at the time as something that I'd really value, but it was much. I mean,
you had brought it up to me multiple times, though, that you were really you said that it was the best art criticism you've ever received. That was like your favorite thing that you've got.
Favorite response, yeah, for sure. And I was like, I wish I had that drawing. And you gave me a really, really touching gift. You had used one of these image prompting systems to recreate it.
Yes. Something I worry about sometimes with these tools is, you know, which future are they prescribing? Are they prescribing one where tons of people have the ability to make even better Halloween costumes and even more creative home movies and even more interesting stories and memories? Or are you getting this sort of increasingly narrow average of existing things, and then that just keeps getting averaged, and then everything is just going to be a blob? I don't want to be in a blob future.
The hope is that because it's a richly multidimensional space, you can get to the periphery. I do see people using generative AI to sort of make things that they've seen before, but the opportunity is to make things you haven't seen before. It's this question, I can't remember when we were talking about this, about using paint right out of the tube.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to slam any artist for using paint right out of the tube.
Well, you have to start somewhere. Everybody starts with paint out of a tube.
Right, like a kid finger painting
sure.
using paint out of the tube.
Or
right out of the
any
tube.
age, if you're getting into painting. It's crazy to buy expensive paints that you mix.
And yet, sort of, if you're serious about color,
right.
You know, like,
Eventually
you're like, you can't just use paint right out of the tube. Right. You have to dig further.
Part of getting there is being more creative with how you're using these tools. So I think about this this event, which took in sort of the Hieronymus Bosch triptych, which famously has like the most weird little details. And what we did is we had people join in Miro and basically start to remake this image piece by piece using any means necessary, using stock photos, using AI image synthesis.
This was still during the pandemic too, right?
Yeah, exactly. And at the end, I am like so delighted by this crazy like cacophony of collage that came out of this project.
This flies in the face of a kind of approach to the arts, which is a preciousness.
Yeah, because it's quick, because it isn't hard. I think this is, now we're answering our question from earlier of like, what is the benefit of these things getting easier? As it means that you can use them with less ceremony and you can use them faster and with your friends and to make things that actually probably get at the heart of like what art should be about.
I think it was Danny Hillis who said like when you change something by an order of magnitude, it becomes a very different thing. So like before, if I wanted to visualize, for example, your idea of like a claymation insurrection, right? Like
you have to build a whole
You have to build the whole thing.
And then you're like, what am I doing?
And it's like,
I have to take out my kids.
Is this really the right
tired.
thing for me to be doing?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of a miracle that anything creative exists at
100%.
all. And it's now 100 times easier to do So we can actually say, well, why not? Let's actually try it. And that should be the thing that gives people the permission.
Yeah.
To actually get out to the edges, get out to the periphery, give them permission to be weird.